Hi everyone. How are y'all doing today? I hope we're having a relaxing time. I am doing alright myself. Although I'm a little annoyed at YouTube right now, but like honestly, when am I not? we have we have yet another video with the dreaded yellow dollar sign. 4 out of my last 5 videos actually have gotten limited monetization, which is just great. But it's fine. It's fine. As we all know, horse girls are inherently sexual content. It's true. It's true. Which is why Simbly Rudolph punning at you was sexual. It was flagged as sexual. Horse girl making puns. That's a horny thing, isn't it? That's what that is, right? No, YouTube is always doing this to me. They're always flagging my videos as mature, as limited monetization. And they always give the same reason. And it's just because first off I'm doing ASMR and YouTube automatically makes certain assumptions about ASMR. Its algorithm does. And we add on that the fact that I'm openly transgender. And you know, the only reason anyone could possibly be watching me, right, is for those reasons, right? That's what you're all doing right now, isn't it? All of you are tuned in to the stream with your pants down because I'm just inherently like that, you know? Honestly, I almost wish that was the case. I wish I had a psychic aura like that. That'd be sick as hell. Hello, Rabbit Imperial Guard. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm happy to have you here. I stream 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday is ASMR day. Um, the ASMR days are usually pretty straightforward, pretty chill. Any suggestions that I get from users, from viewers, from chatters, is, you know, very welcome. Any ideas that you have for like a concept or an ASMR trigger you'd like to hear, I will put them all into a poll and we can vote on them. And I will perform whatever it is that you all decide. We did discuss last week potentially reading some of my fics together because I was actually a writer before I started doing ASMR. And so I have a few short stories and little novelettes and things that I would be willing to do live readings of on stream if you want. And I know there was interest expressed last week, but it would be quite a time commitment. If we decided to do that, it would be basically the whole stream, right? Another idea that I personally had is I'm kind of in the mood to just do my nails today. And so I think that might be some decent ASMR. We'll see what people are feeling. My partner's actually home from work today, which is exciting. They recently got the ability to very occasionally work from home, and that lets them finagle their schedule a little bit. And so I spent my morning with my partner today. And that makes me very happy. I don't get to do that very often. It is a big win. Oh my god, I'm drinking so much water. Um, you suck at nails? Okay, well, I'm not like a master myself, but I would be super down to do my nails and talk about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Let's see. New poll. I have been rendered cozy. Dear God. We're going to slay? Are we going to slay the spire, perhaps? I've been playing so much Slay the Spire 2 lately. So much, honestly. So let's see, we're gonna make live fic reading a poll option. And then we're going to make doing nails a poll option. We're gonna put those on there. It is. I may have downloaded some mods as well. Nothing like that actually changes how gameplay works, but I may have feminized the regent because the regent is like inherently princess coded. And so I got a mod it's just a little skin basically. And it makes the regent a bratty princess. Yes, the regent is a chuny princess. That is objectively correct. It's objectively correct. It's so good. Honestly, I mostly play the silent. Chuny, short for chunibyo, which is roughly translated to 8th grader syndrome. Basically, it describes someone who has a heightened sense of importance, delusions of grandeur, and sort of a super dramatic and or edgy style. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you watch much anime, but if you've ever seen a character who wears an eye patch over their eye and talks about how it seals their powers away, and if it's ever removed, the dark flame of destruction will be unleashed upon the world. That's a chuny. That's a chuny character. It's very silly. Fischl from Genshin is absolutely a chuny. Shadow the Hedgehog? I'm gonna call Shadow the Hedgehog a chuny. I'm describing awesome. I kinda am. Tiamopro is a chuny, but like she's deliberate about it, right? She doesn't actually believe a lot of the things she's saying. She's putting on a character. I think if you want an actual chuny Uma, Gimlet. Gimlet is chuny. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. A big part of being chuny, right, is that it's not real. Okay, that's a fundamental part of it. Fischl is not actually the royalty that she claims she is. She's making up a bunch of stuff. Tiamopro is the overlord, and she's putting on this character, but then she does fully back it up, and it is also like deliberate. But I would say Tenino Gimlet is a chuny, like absolutely. It's very specific. It's very specific. I'm assigning you all homework now. Watch the anime Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions, and you'll understand what it means to be chuny. Rika Takanashi is the archetypical chunibyo. She has taught me much in the ways of the chuny. Um, does anyone else have any other ideas for ASMR or concepts they'd like to hear today? We're still open to suggestions, just so you're aware. Can we get that homework in writing, please? Oh, sure thing, sure thing, sure thing. Watch, love, Junibio, and other delusions. Do I have more Gundam building ASMR? I do have a model kit that is not yet complete. I could do some work on that audio. Or on that model kit. It will be without hand cam. Let's see. You want mouse girl? You want mouse girl? I can be a mouse girl. We are making requests. I have one slot left. If we're doing Dragon Girl or Autistic Vampire Girl, I would need a little more context, and I can only take one of those. That's the last slot on the poll. So, which of those do you want to prioritize, and like what specifically are you hoping for? What kind of story are you after? Whatever it is, I will do as I must. Clear my little throat. Okay. Oh, are you thinking about a continuation of one of the YouTube series? That would be a first for the stream. I've historically kept them separate because these videos don't get uploaded to the normal YouTube channel. I could do something playing off of one of those. No, I could absolutely do something. I am willing to accept the idea. It's just new. Do not talk shit about yourself, okay? You're fine. You're perfectly fine. We are here to be relaxed and joyful today, okay? I'm gonna put Dragon Girl on the poll, and I will gladly continue that story here. It's just not something I'd done before. That's all. Dragon. Alright, a poll has been created. It's gonna be up for about 3 minutes. Today's a cozy day, I think. Today's a very cozy day for me. I'm enjoying myself. I'm living my life. I'm loving my life. It's tough choices, isn't it? It's very tough choices. We have some pretty fun concepts. See, this is part of why I started making polls on the Patreon. It's because making these decisions myself is hard. So just your life is being consumed by Pokemon. I haven't played super recent Pokemon. My last proper Pokemon game was Shield, I believe. And I just can't find it in myself to get like a Switch 2 or anything like that. Financially, I can't find it in me to justify it. But I do like the Pokemon games. I've been playing my own monster taming game recently in the form of Monster Hunter Stories 3. I finally finished the main story, but I still have some of the optional super bosses to take care of. You were having your first gender clinic appointment? Oh, hell yeah, Dino Bird Girl. That is like the best possible reason to be late, honestly. um, I have to say, I really love um, some of the monsters that are in Stories 3. It's got a good few of my favorites. Um, I I think Legiana is probably my favorite monster in all of Monster Hunter. And so being able to have a Legiana on my team makes me very happy. Um, and Valkana is absolutely one of my favorite Elder Dragons. I just like ice monsters. I like ice monsters a lot. Does Stories 3 have Espinas and Ludroth? Yes, it does. You can get Ludroth really early as well. It's like one of the first aquatic monsters you can get. Looks like we're doing a live fic reading today. Okay. So that's probably going to be most of the stream, if not the whole stream. So I'm going to pull up my own Scribble Hub page. And I have a few ideas we can choose between. And we're gonna do some reading, okay? We're gonna do a little audiobook stream. I'm gonna tell you a story, and hopefully that will lull you to sleep. Let's see. So. We have 3 options, I think. The first is a story called Of Fluff and Garbage, which is Arknight's fanfiction, actually. There was a story written by a good friend of mine a while back. That was essentially about the fancy cancer rocks from Arknights getting transported into this world, and people who become infected turning into Arknights characters. And that story is actually what originally got me into Arknights myself. And so once I'd played Arknights for a while and I had my own favorite characters, I I wrote my own fic in her setting with her blessing. And so it is technically canon to her setting. And it was very fun. It was super fun to write. And I tried to write it in a way that can be understandable to people who have not played Arknights. And I will of course be willing to explain things as we go if we do choose that one. So that's option number 1. We are not reading an exercise in trust. That story is simply smut. that is my 5,000 word scene of a vampire hunter and a vampire. We have Agrosa Threnakiae, the 3 Huntresses, which is I can't read that live on stream. I can't do that. We have Agrosa Threnakiae, the 3 Huntresses, which is a Greek mythology story wherein a pair of young women seek out Artemis in Greece in order to have particular wishes of theirs granted, one of whom wants to run away with the nymphs for lesbian reasons, one of whom wants to do the same for trans reasons. And they adventure and hijink and do gay stuff together. That is a story that is 36,000 words total. And so I don't know that we would be able to finish it in a single stream, but we could make some good progress. There is a transphobic villain at the end, but he does also get killed by Artemis. That's minor spoilers. The transphobic sexist man gets killed by Artemis. um or we have The Secret Menu, which is a story that I wrote while I was working at Starbucks, actually. And it's where our protagonist gets her gender transed and reality shifts around her after she drinks a special coffee made by a witch. It's also a pretty fun story. It's lighthearted a lot of the time, but it does get a little bit heavy at one point because the parents are not super accepting. And I'm saying this stuff beforehand because I want to make sure you're all aware. There is some moderately like heavy stuff in A Fluff and Garbage, but there is no outright like homophobia or transphobia in that one. But there is some in those other two. If you want to read these stories yourself, you can click the link I just posted right now. Scribble Hub. That's where I post. So I'm gonna make a poll. All right, my lovelies. I'm gonna make another poll, and you are all going to get to decide which of these stories you would like to hear me read, since that's what we decided today. Okay. So, which story of Fluff, a Grossa Thrinakie, or Secret Menu? There we are. Yet another new poll has been born into the world. And whichever one of those wins, that's what we're gonna do today. That's how we're gonna spend basically all stream, is reading these fics. It should be fun. I hope it's fun. If it's not fun, then well, I'll have royally fucked up, wouldn't I? Having my spippy, having my waiter. Cast your votes, my friends. Cast your votes. Well, my posture is impeccable. Simply resharkable. Don't worry. My posture is perfect. Big stretch. Big stretch. Come now. I know there's more than 3 people in chat. There we go. We've got some votes coming in now. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I have terrible news. I have truly dreadful news. I have Wonderwall stuck in my head. I don't know why, but Wonderwall is now stuck in my head. Help. Help me. Today is gonna be the day that I'm gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you got to do. And I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Yeah, okay, I'll stop the Wonderwall. You've escaped Wonderwall for now. For now. Alright, so it's looking like the winner is probably gonna be The Secret Menu. Singing stream. Doing a whole stream of singing would maybe be a little bit stressful, I will admit. But I might perhaps be willing to sing you some songs at some point. I actually did sing one in an earlier stream. I sang Can't Help Falling in Love by Belvis Bestley. Alright. Are you ready, my friends? Looks like we're reading some trans coffee shop stuff. This one might not actually take all stream. We'll see. We shall see. It's one of my shorter stories, so um you get your coffee witch one. Yeah, this is technically coffee witch ASMR. Another day, another soul-sucking shift at ye old Starbucks. It's not like the work was terrible in itself, but when you had anxiety as bad as mine, it really took it out of you. Still, money was money. And learning how to make tasty coffee was a decent bonus. I'd taken this job a couple months ago, and I was getting pretty good at it. I had all the lattes down to a science, the refreshers were simple, and even the frappuccinos weren't too bad once I got to know them. The only thing I really struggled with were the people. Most of the time it was pretty simple, there was a formula to it. I greet them, they rattle off their order, I put it in and ask for their names. Then I start making the drink once they pay. Mix in some small talk and ask any relevant questions, and there you have it. Simple. Sometimes, though, there were exceptions. Some people just wanted to talk. Way more than I was comfortable with. Some people came in looking for a fight and would start yelling over the tiniest mistake. Those are my least favorite. And some people came in with their secret menu items pulled off of Insta or something. I had nothing against any of these people, except the yelly ones, but extended social interactions and complicated orders really took it out of me. One of those last people stood in front of me now. Some kind of goth, in all black, with her nails painted the colors of the sunset, and some kind of purple smoky eye makeup. Basically, she looked way the hell cooler than I could ever dream of being. Not that I'd want to look like her. I was a guy, after all. She had someone else with her, a tall, skinny girl, in a baggy hoodie with a blue, pink, and white pin on her purse. Even though the goth was way shorter, the tall one seemed almost like she was hiding behind her. I could relate. Stepping up to the register, I gave them both a smile. Hi there. How can I help you today? The goth stepped forward, glancing down at her phone, before she said the words I was dreading. I actually have a pretty complicated order. Can I just walk you through it? Seeing that there wasn't currently a line behind the two of them, I gave her another slightly less warm smile. Sure, I'd be happy to help you with that. Can I get a name for the cup? Suddenly, that tall one behind her spoke up, barely rising above a whisper. Kenzie. My name's Kenzie. I nodded towards her and wrote her name on the cup. She seemed nervous, and that made me feel just a bit more determined to make sure she had a good experience, even if it meant some extra work for me. Alright then, let's see what we've got. What we had was a shaken espresso. An exceptionally complicated one, but still a shaken espresso at heart. In all, the recipe actually sounded pretty tasty. With oat milk, a bit of white mocha, and half a dozen other ingredients besides, it seemed like Kenzie had good taste. There was something odd about it, though. The goth was muttering under her breath with her eyes locked on what I was doing the whole time, and I could have swore the drink heated up briefly as I was shaking it. Oh well, I was tired and probably just overthinking things. My shift was almost over anyways. Just another hour, and then this place would be the closer's problem. When I finally finished shaking the thing, I poured it into a grande cup and added some whipped cream and a sprinkle of cinnamon. The absolute monster of a drink was complete. I checked my phone as I set it on the counter. In all, this beauty had taken me just under 10 minutes to make. I made sure to thank a couple random gods that these two showed up in a slow part of the shift. You gotta cover your bases, after all. Kenzie picked it up, almost reverently, not taking her eyes off it for a second. The goth gave me a long look. Thanks, She looked at my name tag. Isaac. I gave her one last big smile. You're very welcome. This was actually a pretty fun one to make. I hope Kenzie likes it. She gave me a sly grin, glancing over at her friend, who still remained transfixed by her coffee. I'm sure she will. She draped her arm over Kenzie's shoulder. Come on, girl. Let's head back to my place. You can give the coffee a try. I had a little chuckle as the two of them wandered out. What an odd interaction. I had a nice long stretch before I set my eyes on cleaning up after this. As I did, though, I happened to notice something. There was a little bit of the drink still left in the shaker. Just enough to fill a tall cup halfway. This always happened with these custom recipes. There was always just a bit too much. Getting to sample these Frankenstein's beverages was one of the few plus sides to having to make them, and this one did look good. I poured what was left into a cup before I cleaned up the mess, and once I'd made the counter fairly presentable again, I once again beheld my prize. I deserved a treat after all this. I picked up my little cup and downed it all in one go. Holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. This drink didn't just look good, it tasted divine. It was like all my favorite drinks rolled into one, but somehow none of the flavors clashed. I just sampled the divine nectar of the gods. There was chocolate and cherry, cinnamon and sugar. There was even salt and vinegar. And somehow that didn't ruin it. I could see why Kenzie treated the damn thing like some holy relic. It was absolute perfection as it rolled over every single one of my senses. My reality dissolved into pure bliss and I lost all notions of time and space. And then, just as quickly as it happened, that glorious feeling was gone. And I was left reveling in the aftertaste. Holy hell, that was something else. Dimly, I registered someone's voice off to my left. With an incredible force of will, I managed to bring the voice and its source into focus. It was one of the closers, Alex, and she was speaking to me. You good? Hello? Earth to Bree. Yo, Bree, Bree, Bree. I shook my head to try and get it working again. What the hell was she talking about? And since when was she taller than me? Was I high right now? Did some kind of crazy chemical reaction happen when I was shaking up that coffee? I managed to voice all these concerns gracefully and efficiently. Huh? I said, are you alright, Bree? I've been trying to get your attention for a couple minutes now. Do you need to go home a bit early or something? My voice sounded different, and I was feeling really weird all over. What the hell was in that drink? I mean, I knew what was in it, but what the hell was in it? And who was Bree? Why did Alex keep calling me that? Was this some kind of prank or something? Once again, my words in that moment were nothing if not concise. Alex, what? Alex looked really worried about me. I guess I would be too in her shoes. Jesus, girl, I'm like 2 seconds away from calling an ambulance. I need you to use your words and tell me what's wrong. I'm worried about you. girl? She called me girl. What? Why would she do that? And why did I like it? Fuck. Alright, okay, I guess we're just rolling with this for now. I took a deep breath before I looked her in the eyes. I don't know. I feel weird, and I'm not sure why. I think I might have eaten or drank something weird. I might want to go home early today. Yeah. We're doing a reading of The Secret Menu, which is a short story I wrote when I was like 20-ish, I think. My voice was really pretty. It was soft and light and perfect, and why was I focusing on that right now? Alex gave me a little smile. Good girl. You go home and take care of yourself, okay? If you start to feel worse, please go to a hospital or something. You were making me hella nervous for a second there. Okay, I will. I'll keep you posted if anything happens. I took off my apron and started towards the door. I'd go home, figure out exactly what just happened, and then go from there. I guess that's all I really could do. That was chapter 1. That was chapter 1. It was called Shaken Espresso. This next chapter is called Cold Brew. This is a Faye original, yeah. Well, this was an issue. I'd walked out to my car, ready to head home so I could try to process what happened, but there was one small problem. My wallet and keys were gone. I always kept both of them in my back left pocket. I knew that, but somehow they weren't anywhere to be found. That was it. I'd had enough. Are we doing initial D in chat right now? Okay. Locking back in. That was it. I had enough. I just did not have it in me to deal with this right now. I fell to the ground, pressing my back against the car, and I just cried. It was all just so much. Why did I look different? Why was Alex treating me different? Why was she calling me a different name? Why the hell had my keys vanished? It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. The fact that I was even able to cry right now was confusing in itself. I hadn't cried in years. But now the floodgates were open and tears were falling like rain. Suddenly, there were footsteps. Before I even realized what was happening, the steps rushed towards me and I was wrapped up in a warm hug. Sniffling, I looked up to see Alex, her face inches from mine as she rubbed my back and brushed my hair out of my face. Bree, what happened? Are you okay? You're not hurt, right? I couldn't make words happen. I could hardly even breathe, barely managing gasping hiccups between each sob. Why was it all hitting me now? I thought I was okay. I thought I could make it home, but now I'd just fallen apart. I shook my head to let her know I wasn't hurt. Alright, that's good. That's good. Are you nonverbal right now? I gave her a slight nod. Okay, that's alright, Bree. I want you to take some deep breaths for me, okay? Can you do that? I nodded again, pulling in a long, gasping breath at her instruction and letting it out with a sob. I did as she asked, taking deep breaths again and again until finally the tears started to dry. I still couldn't speak. It was just too much, but I felt much less like I was falling apart. So, that was something, I guess. That's it, Bree. You're okay. It's gonna be okay. Just take it easy, alright? I don't know what's going on with you, but I want to help. Is there anything at all I can do for you? I wanted to talk to her, to tell her what happened, but the words just wouldn't come. I hated when this happened. My throat felt like it was closing up and I couldn't force my way past it. After pointlessly struggling for a minute or two, I pulled out my phone and opened my notes app. I'm sorry, Alex. Everything's just a lot right now. I don't know what to do. Why did you even come out here anyway? I showed Alex my screen and she gave my arm a little squeeze. I came out because you forgot your purse, see? I figured Mike could handle things for a bit. She held up a little black handbag with an intricate spiderweb pattern across its surface. I reached out for it tentatively. Alex passed it over, and I took a look inside. Sure enough, there was my wallet and keys. There was some other stuff in there too. Red lipstick, a well-worn fidget cube, and was that pepper spray? I had to admit, if I were to have a purse, this is probably what it'd look like. I guess Bria and I had similar taste, or something like that. Now that I actually thought about it, other things had changed too. I was definitely shorter now, and my build had changed a bunch, but somehow my clothes still felt like they fit comfortably. And wait, was I wearing a bra right now? How hadn't I noticed that before? My phone's lock screen was different too. It was a picture of a 20-ish-year-old woman smiling and laughing with a drink in her hand. I didn't recognize her, but there was something familiar about her at the same time. She was pretty. Her eyes were so vibrant and joyful, and that eyeliner made them pop even more. Alex reached out and helped me to my feet before looking around kind of awkwardly. So, it's okay if you want to say no, but, you want to hang out tonight? I really want to make sure you're okay. We both know how your parents are. I just want to make sure you have someone you can actually talk to about whatever this is. I took another deep breath, clutching my purse tightly. I wanted to say this with my words, not a screen. I pushed and pushed and pushed at this stupid anxiety-induced block in my head. Why did this have to happen now? I trailed off. I couldn't do it. I felt awful. I saw Alex reaching towards me, her hand falling just short of mine. Bray, there's nothing wrong with typing it out. Nobody's gonna blame you or judge you for having anxiety. And if they do, I'll kick their asses for you. I sighed and started typing. I know, it's just embarrassing. Nobody else has to deal with this. I think I'd like it if you came over. Everything's weird right now. I could use a friendly face. Alex took a step back once she'd finished reading. Okay. My shift ends at 9. I'll be at your place by 9:30 at the latest. If you need anything before then, you just text me and I'll come running. I really care about you, you know? I nodded to her once again before grabbing her tightly in a brief hug. Where'd that come from? Physical affection was usually something I tolerated for others' sake, but that felt as natural as breathing. My thoughts kept dancing through my mind as I drove home. Okay. So. Before we move on, I would just like to inform you that we're about to get to a section involving our main character's parents. And I might skip through part of it because the parents are not good people. And I want this to be relaxing, alright? So I'm just going to establish at the start that things do end okay for Bree. And, yeah, I might end up skipping the worst of it. So, if you want the full trauma, read the thing itself, okay? One thought in particular began to rise to the surface past all the others as I got closer to my destination. what had Alex meant when she'd mentioned my parents. I'd always been able to talk to them about whatever I needed to. We were about as close as you could get to the classic nuclear family. My dad worked at some big shot marketing firm, my mom took care of the house and sold jewelry on Etsy, and I was staying with them as I went through college to save on housing. What was she so worried about? I pulled up in front of the house and parked on the street, grabbing my purse before heading inside. Walking in, I was greeted with the delicious aroma of my mother's cooking. It smelled like she was going all out tonight for some reason. Roast beef and potatoes wafting into my face. I made it all of 2 steps into the house before my mother popped out of the kitchen in front of me. "Bree, sweetheart, you're home early." Her words were warm and sweet, but something felt off. Her smile didn't seem to reach her eyes, and everything just felt forced. Like she was trying to convince both of us she was happy to see me. She swept me up into a hug that was just a bit too tight to be comfortable. "Are you alright, sweetie? Did something happen?" My heart started thundering in my chest, but I couldn't say why. My body was shot through with adrenaline, even though this whole scene was thoroughly normal. "Oh, I wasn't feeling well, so the closers sent me home early. I hope that's okay." She stepped away from me. "Of course it's okay. I'd hate for my sweet little girl to get sick. Do you need anything? Does your head hurt? Are you nauseous? What's wrong, sweetheart?" Okay. Yeah, she was laying it on thick. Her sweet little girl. Seriously, I was 21 years old. Every second this interaction continued, my heart kept pounding faster and faster. Did this body know something I didn't? Why was it acting up like this? I gave my mom a tight grin. It's more of a mental health thing. People just got to be a bit too much for me today. I think I'm just gonna hang out in my room for a bit. Her smile wavered for just a second before coming back in force. It reminded me of my customer service face, fake all the way through. "I see. You head to your room then. Make sure you're presentable by 8. Father Jeffries will be coming by for dinner tonight. And fix your makeup. The running mascara is a bit dramatic." Oh, I didn't even realize I had makeup on. Oh god. You know this story? Yeah, I wrote this. I wrote this a long time ago. It was probably a mess after all that crying I did in the parking lot, wasn't it? For some reason, the thought of Father Jeffries coming over had me panicking even more. My heart continued to drum in my chest, and now I really did feel nauseous. My whole body was screaming at me, shouting danger over and over. I was actually thinking about having dinner with a friend tonight. Alex from work. She was worried about me. I figured I'd just go out with her. Wrong answer. Wrong. I shouldn't have said her name. I didn't know why, but some deep-seated instinct knew with absolute certainty I should not have said her name. "Oh? You were going to go out with Alex, were you? That's odd. And here I thought your little infatuation with that girl had ended. Here I thought I'd told you how awful an influence she was. You'll be having dinner with us tonight, and Father Jeffries will help us all make sure you never even look at another woman that way again, okay?" Somehow, through all that, she kept that horrible fake smile on her face, grinning at me, disgustingly sweet. Of course, now was when my voice failed me again, my throat constricted as I tried to speak, as I tried to tell her no, tried to say how scared I was. "Good. Now run along to your room, dear. Ready by 8, remember?" I rushed into my room and shut the door, hardly even noticing all the changes that had been made to it as I curled up in my bed and cried. I was scared. Oh God, I was scared. What was that? What happened to the mom who loved me? The answer came to me unbidden. She loved her son, her straight son, I wasn't him. She loved Isaac, but I was Bree, and Bree still liked girls, didn't she? Fuck. I rolled over and started sobbing into my pillow, some part of me knowing I had to stay quiet. That it'd be bad if they heard me cry. Eventually, my tears ran dry once again, and I checked my phone. It was 7:40. I'd really been crying for hours, hadn't I? Time was almost up. Soon I'd have to face whatever my parents had planned for me. Without me even realizing it, I'd opened up my contacts and pulled up Alex's number. Before I had time to second-guess myself, I shot her a message. Allie, I'm scared. My parents are inviting their pastor over for dinner, and I think they're planning something awful. Please come get me. Please. I waited. Minutes felt like hours as I stared at my screen. Please read it. Please answer. Please. On my way. 40 minutes. It'll be okay. And that's the end of Cold Brew. Okay, this next chapter is the one where we're going to skip a bit. This one's called Iced White Mocha. And yeah, we're going to read the first part, and then we're going to get to a certain part, and then we're going to skip until when Alex shows up. Okay? I checked my phone's clock again. 7:45. I had 15 minutes to change out of my work clothes and fix my makeup. I had a gut feeling that my mom wouldn't accept just cleaning it off, and my gut had been pretty accurate lately. I stood up from my bed and strode purposefully to the closet. First, I needed to get dressed. I started grabbing clothes, trusting the muscle memory of my new body to pick something that would work. I ended up holding some plain black pants, a purple shirt, and a black cardigan with spider web patterns on it. I was detecting a theme with Bree's preferences. Now, I just had to put it on, which meant I had to take my current clothes off. Okay, this is fine. It was literally my own body. As far as I could tell, Bree was just me if I'd been born a girl, so it was fine. It's not like I really liked my old body anyway. How bad could this one be? I took several deep, calming breaths before I yanked my shirt off over my head, my pants coming off soon after. I was scared to see how I looked down there, but I made myself look anyway. An action that sent dozens of confusing emotions through my already exhausted brain. I threw on my new pants and top before I could process how I felt. I'd always felt awkward about my body before, but this felt different. I had some stuff to unpack later. Okay, I was dressed. Now, makeup. This was completely uncharted territory, so my only choice was to trust that this body knew what it was doing. I tried to dig into whatever instinctive knowledge I'd been relying on thus far, forcing it to the surface. It took a couple seconds, but there it was. I grabbed onto those memories, that knowledge, and I pulled hard. Suddenly, I knew what I had to do. Quickly, I strode over to the vanity in the corner of my room. I guess I had one of those now. Sat down in front of the mirror and got to work. I didn't have long. There's no way I could wipe off and reapply a full face of makeup. I'd wasted too much time already. Instead, I grabbed some concealer and decided I'd just get rough with it. I applied a thick layer over it. I applied a thick layer of it over my smeared mascara before blending the darker parts closer to my eye with eyeshadow. I pulled out the lipstick I still had in my purse and touched that up too. With all that done, I took one last look in the mirror. The woman from my lock screen stared back at me. I guess that made sense, didn't it? She looked a bit more emo than in the picture, but nobody could say she wasn't put together. Rather than joy and excitement, right now her eyes shone with determination. In my last couple minutes, I grabbed a small duffel bag from my closet, throwing in my pajamas, whatever clothes I could think of, and my old stuffed bear, Miss Grizzle. I set the bag next to my door and walked out of my room. I just had to last 20 minutes. I had to pretend I was okay for just 20 minutes. Then Alex would be here. She'd get me out, and I'd be okay. My mother's voice rang out from down the hall. "Bree, dinner's almost ready. Would you please set the table for me?" I plastered a smile to my face and set my voice to customer service mode as I walked down the hall. "Don't worry, Bree, they're just angry customers. That's all. That they're your parents is entirely irrelevant." As I walked past the living room and saw my dad and Father Jeffries speaking in low tones, I almost had myself convinced. Almost. And this is the part where we're going to skip a little bit, okay? We're just going to skip. TLDR. They want to send her to a special camp. And that's not happening. Yup. So, at this point, there was a knock on the door interrupting the conversation as Alex arrives. Okay? I reached the door as my father started stomping towards it. I swung it open wide, and there she was, still in her green apron and baseball cap. Alex was here, and she had murder in her eyes. She glanced down at me, and her eyes softened for just a moment. "You hurt?" I shook my head. "You have your stuff?" I nodded. Oh, Bree ran to her bedroom and grabbed the duffel. "Then get to the car. We're leaving." I started to rush towards the car, but stopped when I glanced behind me. My father had caught up to Alex, and he was screaming down at her. He looked like he might pop a blood vessel. "You damn freak. Who the hell do you think you are, taking my daughter from me?" He looked over at me. "Get back here right now, Bree, or I'll..." Alex interrupted him. "Fuck me, you're loud. I could hear you from outside, you know. You said your daughter had 2 options, but, sorry, bud, I'm option 3. My father shoved her hard, and she stumbled back a few feet. I took a few steps towards her, but she looked at me and shouted, "Car! Now, Bree!" I ran to the car and opened the passenger door. I wouldn't get in, though, not without Alex. My dad was yelling again, this time directed at me. Step away from the fucking car, Bree. If you leave with this fucking freak, I never want to see you again. Get back in the house, you stupid fucking..." And then he was about to say a slur. Alex interrupted him again, with her fist this time, smashing his nose with a punch. He staggered backwards, clutching his face with his hands. Don't you dare call her that. She's your daughter, your own daughter. And you treat her like that? You'd call her that? You are scum, the lowest of the fucking low." She turned and started walking to the car. "Get in, Bree. We're leaving. They never get to hurt you again." I sat down and closed the door. Alex sat next to me, gently running her hand up and down my back. She took a few moments to gather herself, letting the adrenaline of the situation work its way out before she finally drove away. "You're okay, Bree. It's all gonna be okay. I promise." Hello, Andony. Welcome to the forest. We just finished this latest chapter of the story. We have 2 chapters left, and this next one is called Medicine Ball. I was tired. I was really goddamn tired. I was vaguely aware of Alex still sitting to my left, gently rubbing my back and whispering kind nonsense in my direction. I wanted to feel something about this. Anything at all. I was so tired. I couldn't bring myself to be angry that my own dad would say such horrible things. I couldn't be sad that I'd lost my family, and I couldn't even feel relief that I'd gotten out of such a horrible situation. All I wanted, more than anything, was to curl up and pass out. I'd work out all my feelings after. Eventually, the car stopped. Maybe it stopped a while ago and I just hadn't noticed. I looked over at Alex, the worry in her eyes plain to see. Her hand moved up from my back to run through my hair, and she gave me a cautious half smile. We're here. How you feeling, cutie? I leaned into her gentle touch. Regardless of anything else, however bad things were, however hard it was for me to feel anything at all right now, Alex felt safe. She was safety, and for now at least, she was home. I'm gonna be honest, Allie, I feel fucking exhausted right now. Everything else is secondary. Yeah? Then let's get you inside. How's a comfy bed sound? She opened her door and stepped out of the car, and I did the same. Yeah, that sounds pretty great, actually. She walked up to the door ahead of me, opening it wide with a flourish. Then a bed you shall have. She was such a nerd. A butch, punchy nerd, but a nerd nonetheless. Speaking of, I had an important question for her. You've been awfully smooth tonight, Alex. It's weird. She snorted a bit as she led the way inside. Seriously though, I'm option 3. How long were you sitting on that one? There's no way you came up with that on the spot. She turned and looked at me. Yeah, that. I'm gonna be real with you, cutie. I was trying to find a way to squeeze that in from the moment I got out of my car. Your fucking sperm donor really knows how to shout. Another voice piped up from behind Alex. A scruffy-looking guy was splayed out across the couch in the open living room. Ugh, sounds like I missed something pretty exciting, huh, Lexi? It's been a while since you brought a chick home. Is she the one from work? What's her name? That's enough, Jay. She's been through a lot tonight. She let out a long sigh. Bree, this is Jay. He's my roommate. He's kind of an ass sometimes, but he's good people. Jay, this is Bree. We work together, and she's gonna be staying here a while. If you've got an issue with that, no you don't. Shut up. Jay, for his part, just yawned and took a hit of his vape. All good, Lexi. No issues here. Hey, Bree, if anyone gives you trouble, you just let me know. I may not be like Punchy McPunchface over here, but I stick by my friends, and if Lexi cares about you this much, then you're already a friend in my book. Yeah, sure, Punchy McPunchface. Why not? Speaking of which, my room is over there, Bree. She gestured towards one of the 2 doors connecting to the living room/kitchen space. How about you get settled in while I take care of some stuff? I kinda split my knuckle open, and I want to get that covered up. I'll just crash on the couch tonight, if that's all good. A nice, comfy bed did sound pretty great right about now, and I started walking towards Alex's room. There was just one small problem, though. Hey, Allie? I'd actually rather you not sleep on the couch tonight. You're really doing a lot for me right now, and I just don't think it'd be super fair for you to be couch surfing in your own house after doing all this for me. Oh, it's okay, Bree. You had a rough night. You should be sleeping somewhere And I just really don't want to be alone tonight. I'm sorry. I'd feel better knowing you're there. Please? Before I could even finish speaking, I found myself bundled up in a hug. Alex was holding me loosely, her chin brushing gently on the top of my head. And you won't be. You won't be alone. You just get your makeup off and get comfy. I'll take care of my bloody knuckles, and then I'll be right in there, alright? I'll be 10, 15 minutes tops. Okay. I stepped back as Alex released me, feeling somewhat refreshed as I walked into her room. Closing the door behind me, just before it clicked shut, I heard Jay laughing as he spoke. That's kinda gay, Lexi. You haul much? With the door closed, I opened my duffel bag and wondered briefly what he'd meant. U-Haul? Like the trucks? Oh well, I was too tired to dig too much into whatever that was. I pulled out my pajamas, which basically amounted to an oversized t-shirt and some cozy cotton shorts, and got changed. I wasn't rushing this time, and as I stripped off my shirt and cardigan, those odd feelings surfaced. Those odd feelings surfaced once again. For the first time, I didn't feel some vague sense of disgust when I looked down. Everything just felt right. I put my pajamas on before walking to the adjoining bathroom to wipe off my makeup as best I could, studying my face in the mirror as I worked. I looked like I could be my own sister. All the hard edges had softened, and I seemed more expressive overall. But I still had the same freckles, the same green eyes, the same deep black hair. I like this face. Bree seemed way cooler than Isaac, and I found myself wishing I really was her, that I really could be her. It's strange. Her story and mine were nearly identical, and here I was, walking around in her skin, but I still felt like an imposter. A liar. I splashed some water on my face before staring in the mirror again, whispering affirmations to myself. Tonight's been hard, but you made it through. You're safe now. You did it, Bree. Wait. When had I started to think of myself as Bree? Was I allowed to do that? This wasn't my body, it wasn't my life. I was supposed to be Isaac, wasn't I? I'll kiss the boy after this chapter. Otherwise, I would have been born as Bree instead. You can't just change how you're born, can you? I guess I couldn't really change this either, though. I may have been Isaac before, but I was Bree now. And I think I liked being Bree a lot more. Even though so much had gotten so much harder, I liked looking this way. I liked being called a woman, and I really liked when Alex called me a cutie. I was cute, wasn't I? She had this special way of saying it that made me feel warm and safe and loved. I walked back into the bedroom to find Alex, now wearing loose, comfy pants and a sports bra sitting on the edge of the bed. Holy hell, she was gorgeous. I kept my eyes mostly fixed on the floor as I grabbed my stuffy and sat on the bed. Oh, those abs. God damn those back muscles. I felt heat rising to my cheeks. Alex just leaned back onto a pillow before looking over at me. So, who's the bear? I let out an undignified squeak. Right. This is Miss Grizzle. I've had her since I was a kid. She gave me a tiny chuckle as she stroked my arm. Miss Grizzle. I really liked the Magic School Bus, and Kid Me had good taste in puns. She laughed again, her voice low and sweet. You're adorable. I felt a shifting on the bed and turned to see that she'd rolled onto her side, facing away from me, taking slow, deep breaths. Cautiously, I crawled under the covers, too, trying to ignore the toe-curling warm feeling her laugh had elicited. How the hell was I supposed to get to sleep now? It turned out The answer was actually pretty simple. I settled in, closed my eyes, and within moments I was out like a light. I woke up warm and cozy. The space was unfamiliar, but I felt safe. I felt good. I was hugging something, probably Miss Grizzle, and my head was nestled into a nice soft pillow. I say I woke up, but honestly I was still in that half-sleeping state where if nothing interrupted you, you could slip right back into a dream without even realizing. I dimly heard myself whimper slightly as I shifted around, trying to get comfortable. Then a hand fell on my head, brushing gently through my hair and pulling me closer to wakefulness. Alex spoke up, her voice a low murmur. I'm glad you're comfy, Brie, but I think we could both probably use some breakfast soon. Would you mind getting off me, cutie? Allie wanted me to wake up, but I was so comfy. I just wanted to stay here. A few seconds ticked by, and my brain finally put together the rest of what she said. I had to get off her? Then I was hugging her, wasn't I? And the pillow. Holy shit, I was wide awake now. My eyes opened wide, and yup, I was not just hugging her. I was clinging to her side like a baby sloth, with my head resting squarely on her chest. I unwrapped myself from around her as fast as I could, sitting bolt upright. Alex, you, and I was, shit. She just smiled up at me with her confident, heart-melting grin. Oh, she was gorgeous. I knew I had a crush on her before, but here with her now, after everything she'd done with me, and with that damn smile, I couldn't help but stare at her lips. I knew that I was probably blushing right now, that my feelings would be painted across my face, but I didn't care. And then I remembered it was a lie. It was all a lie, and if she knew who I was, who I really was, she'd hate me. She'd never smile at me like this again. I was a guy, even though I wished I was anything but, and if she knew that, she'd never have let me near her, and she'd never have come to save me. She deserved better. She deserved the truth, and I was going to find a way to tell her one way or another. If I really cared about her the way I thought I did, then I'd give her that, at least. I worked up the courage to say it, just as she opened her mouth as well, both of us speaking over the other. I'm not who you think I am. Holy shit, you're beautiful. Then, after both of us had thoroughly confused the other, we spoke our next word in tandem. What? Alright, I have to go give a Rav smooch, and then we'll read the last chapter, alright? Where is my son? Where is my boy? You will be taken. You will be taken. It is time. The boy. The boy. What? Gah! Sir. There we go. Boy acquired. Smooches for the man. Smooches for the boy. Hello, the estrogen vampire. Hello, hello, hello. We are just wrapping up a live reading of The Secret Menu by Ashlyn Flagg, who is definitely a different person from Flawless Faye. It's definitely not my previous alias. Alright, so this last chapter, my friends, is called Unicorn Frappuccino. I said I'm not who you think I am. I turned away. I couldn't look at her. Not after what she just said. She said I was beautiful, and if I let myself think about it for more than a second, I could feel my resolve slipping away. I wanted to believe her, to hold her, to kiss her, but it wasn't true, and I didn't deserve it. Bree was beautiful. Bree was the one she wanted, and no matter how much it hurt, that couldn't be me. Alex sat up a little straighter, reaching over to touch my hand. I yanked it away as she got close. That's not how this was supposed to go. She shouldn't have to comfort me. Bree. Bree, what do you mean? Please look at me, Bree. I wanted to. God, I wanted to, but I couldn't. I'd break. Alex sounded hurt, like she was worried she'd done something wrong. She hadn't. She was perfect. That's why I had to do this. I had to prove to her that the person she was looking at wasn't Bree. Then she could hate me, and then I could leave. Alex, remember 3 days ago? You needed the mocha mix at work, but you couldn't reach it. It was too high up, and you couldn't find the stepladder. From how everyone was acting, Bree's life was pretty much the same as mine up until now. Maybe if I could find a flaw in her memories, some inconsistency to poke away at, she'd believe me when I told her. What? Yeah, of course I remember. The cupboard we keep that stuff in is way too high. It's such a pain in the ass. What does that have to do with anything? Just please trust me. It's important. How did you get the mocha? What? The mocha. How'd you get it down? I mean, I called you over and you grabbed it for me. I don't see. I cut her off. How did I get it? How did I get the mocha when you couldn't? The stepladder was missing and I'm shorter than you are. How did I get the mocha? I could feel her twitching slightly, the vibrations carrying through the bed. I hoped I wasn't hurting her. You climbed up onto the edge of the sink and grabbed it for me, right? Except I didn't. Dana was there, and you know how much the managers freak out over stuff like that. I didn't climb it. You didn't pick me up. We didn't have the stepladder. Why did you call me to get it for you? Why was I able to do it? She was shaking really bad now. I felt horrible. If this didn't do it, I'd quit right now. I couldn't take much more of this. I finally turned to look at her. It's because I was taller than you. 3 days ago, I was taller than you because Bree isn't real. I don't know what happened, but yesterday everything changed and suddenly I was Bree. It was like a switch flipped inside her. She shuddered up and down from her head to her toes, and then it stopped. She looked at me with a new understanding. Isaac? That name felt like a bullet to the chest. She knew now. She knew everything, and it hurt so bad. That name hurt so bad, but I nodded. My voice was shaking. Yeah. Shit. I opened my mouth to try and explain everything, to tell her the whole truth, but now, of all times, my voice failed me again. I tried for a few seconds to force my way around it, but as usual, I couldn't make it happen. I grabbed my phone off the nightstand behind me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry I lied to you. I'm sorry I made you save me without knowing. I'm sorry I slept with you. I know you like Bree. It's obvious, but I'm not her. No matter how much I wish I was. No matter how much I want to be her, I know I never will be. You can hate me now if you want. I get it. Just please let me pack my stuff and you'll never have to see me again. I passed her my phone and waited for her to read it. I was staring at my hands, just waiting for the dam to break, for the tears and the yelling and the hate I deserved. What I didn't expect was for a warm body to press up against mine, or for 2 gentle arms to wrap around me, pulling me tightly towards her. Oh, Bree. Her hand tangled in my hair and pulled me in closer. I didn't understand. I told her I was Isaac, that it was all a lie, that I could never be the Bree she wanted, the Bree that I wanted to be. Didn't she get that? Why didn't she hate me? Why wasn't she yelling? It's okay, cutie. It's all right. You don't have to be him if you don't want to. You're right. You know, I do like Bree. I like the Bree I have now, and I liked the Bree I had before, too. You were hurting. Bad. And it was obvious, but I didn't know why. Now I do. Now it's clear as day. She pulled back, grabbing my face on both sides and locking eyes with me. Do you know what the biggest difference between Bree and Isaac is? It's your eyes. Before all this, before you changed, however that happened, you looked like you were hardly alive. You looked like you'd been robbed of something precious to you. But Bree's eyes are always brilliant and shining, even when she's sad, even when the world is crumbling around her. Bree is alive. There were times when you'd ramble on about something you were excited for, or when a customer confused you for a girl, or you were getting just a little too tipsy after work when I'd see that life poking through. But now, here, in this very moment, you look alive. You look sad and afraid, and I hate that. But more than anything, you look alive. It didn't make sense. She was supposed to hate me. She was supposed to throw me aside like my parents did, but here she was, holding me, comforting me again. I wanted to speak, to tell her how wrong this was, how I deserved to be hurt, but I couldn't grab my phone. I was crying again, tears streaming down my face. I'd been doing that a lot lately. You said you wanted to be Bree, didn't you? Sniffling, I nodded. Then congratulations. There you are. Oh, then congratulations, you are. You're Bree, my favorite adorable little barista, and an absolute cutie. That's all it takes. I promise. But that couldn't be all it took. There's no way that could be all it took, because if it was, I would have been Bree from the start. I would have known from the start. I pulled myself away and grabbed my phone again, typing away furiously. Alex, that's really sweet. You're being kinder than I deserve, but I can't be a woman. That'd mean I was trans or something, and trans people know what they are. They don't just want to be a woman or want to be a man. They just are, and they know that. I can't be. Alex was watching as I typed and cut me off before I could finish. It's not true, Bree. It's just not true. I know it's scary, and I know it's a lot, but I promise you, men don't want to be women, and women don't want to be men. The only reason you'd feel that way, the only reason, is if you were a woman from the start. I promise you, I promise with every fiber of my being, if you want to be Bree, you can be. It really is that simple. I took a deep, gasping, shaking breath. Allie. I choked again. But Alex had promised, hadn't she? It was okay if I couldn't say it. It didn't make it any less real, and she wouldn't judge me for it. I typed again. I want to be Bree. I want that more than anything. Can I just do that? Is that really okay? Her smile was everything. It was bright and beautiful, even as her eyes overflowed with tears, all my doubts, everything. Her smile and her touch just chased them all away. Yes, Bree. Of course you can. Nobody can ever take that away from you. We sat there, holding tightly onto each other, tangled up in bed for the better part of an hour. Everything was chaotic and messy. I'd lost my home, my family, my car, and I had no idea how I'd be able to keep paying for college now, but none of that mattered. I had a new home with someone who cared about me, and I was finally being honest about who I was. For the first time in a long time, I was really, truly happy. Then I heard Alex's stomach rumble and realized I'd forgotten something. We were supposed to have breakfast an hour ago, weren't we? 2 weeks later. It was finally here. The day I'd been waiting for all week had arrived, and I was practically bouncing off the walls with excitement as Alex pulled her car into a parking spot. My first trip to the mall since I became Bree. No, technically, Bree had been here before, and Alex had the memories to back that up, but it was the first time in my memory, and that made it special. Things had finally returned to some semblance of normal after Allie and I talked things out, although she did ask me to take a few days off work for some R&R after everything I'd been through. We weren't dating, yet, at least. Alex and I were both definitely into each other, but she didn't feel comfortable making us a thing while everything was still fresh. She didn't want to feel like she was preying on me while I was vulnerable, which I understood. That didn't stop us from sharing a bed, though, or spending basically every spare minute with each other. When I finally started going back to work, I found I was doing a lot better with my people skills than before. A lot, but not all, of my anxiety seemed to come from something Allie called dysphoria, a sense of severe discomfort based on one's body and particularly one's gender not matching up with their mind. Now that my dysphoria was starting to fade a bit, it was becoming increasingly clear to me just how much it had affected my mental state before, and just how much better I felt now. Jay was pretty awesome too. It turns out he was a trans guy, and once I managed to convince him about what happened to me, it wasn't hard. He was apparently pretty open to that stuff, especially with Alex vouching for me. He started helping me work through a lot of those tough feelings. He was also exactly my kind of nerd, and the three of us had made a tradition of playing around to Smash Bros. Before bed every night. My Lucina was getting pretty good. Today, though, today was mall day. I'd set aside a whole half of my most recent paycheck just for this. I was going to buy so much cute shit, I felt like I was going to explode. But before that came lunch. I practically sprinted to the food court, holding Alex's hand and dragging her towards my favorite Chinese place. Today was going to be so perfect. I just wanted to get started. Slow down, Bree. You're such a fucking gremlin. You're lucky you're cute. I stuck my tongue out at her before giving her a wink. I was learning to embrace who I really was, weirdness and all, and right now I was a tiny feral femme who wanted to get herself some crab rangoon. We had just finally gotten our food and found a quiet table to eat at when someone sat down in front of us. The goth from before was right there, resting her chin on her hands, just looking at me. Alex tensed up beside me, entering protective, totally not girlfriend mode and leaning forward. You shouldn't stare like that. It's creepy. Who are you? The goth barely even reacted, a smile stretching across her face as she looked at me. You tried some, didn't you, Bray? Was she talking about the coffee? How did she know my name? Oh, shit, she read my name tag, and with the memory changing stuff, of course she'd know. I nodded to her, wondering where this was going. It shouldn't have done anything. It was a true form potion with a minor reality-altering kick. If your body and mind were already in line, it shouldn't have done anything. I, never suspected the barista could be trans too. I would have warned you, otherwise. Sorry about that. Alex looked at her, then back at me, then back at the goth. You did this? You were the one who transformed her? Now it was the goth's turn to be surprised, and she looked at Alex properly. You know? How? It should have changed your memories. Alex put her hand on the back of my chair. Thanks to Bree. Oh, fuck. Thanks to Bree. She figured out how to get the old memories back. It's, kind of trippy sometimes. For every memory of Bree more than a few weeks old, there's a conflicting memory that flickers over it. So, you did this. The goth seemed impressed, a smirk on her face as she looked at me. I did, yes. I spoke up this time. Thank you. I know you didn't mean to do it, and things probably would have gone a lot smoother if I'd known, but thank you for making that mistake. Did Kenzie like her drink? Oh, yes, she definitely did. She licked her lips. Oh, fuck, what did that mean? You brewed it well. Her compliments to the chef. Alex spoke up once again, having more fully understood the situation. I just have one question. Why did you have Brie make it? Why not just brew the coffee or potion or whatever you want to call it yourself? Now the goth just looked embarrassed. Oh, I tried to work as a barista for a while so I could just make it myself, but I kind of just sucked at it, like in pretty much every way, so when I wanted one for myself, I just bought the recipe and had some guy at a Dunkin's do it. And then I moved and I met my girlfriend and she wanted one, so I brought the recipe to you and had you do it. Plus, espresso machines are expensive, so I couldn't really do it at home super easily anyway. As she spoke, a few ideas began to pop up in my mind. New plans for the future now that I wasn't in school, and a couple questions I wanted to ask. What's your name, anyway? I probably should have asked you a while ago, and now I'm just feeling kind of awkward. Also, do you think you could teach me how to do that myself? The weird coffee magic stuff? I think if I can maybe someday afford it, I want to open my own coffee shop. Her mouth hung open in surprise. I guess this conversation hadn't gone how she'd planned it. She opened and closed it a few times like a fish before responding. Right. I also should have totally just introduced myself. Hi. I'm Abigail, and if you're serious about the whole coffee shop idea, then I'm totally here for it. Yeah, I'll teach you. I'll pitch in whatever cash I can. I've always wanted to do something like this. A trans witch cafe serving coffee of trans your gender and pastries of erase your dead name. Fuck, I'm excited now. Can I give you my number? Kenzie's gonna freak when she hears about this. Wow. Okay, the cool, edgy goth persona she'd been putting on had completely evaporated. She looked like a kid at Christmas. Alright, I guess we were doing this. Magical trans cafe, here we come. My life actually seemed like it had a path again. No longer was I Isaac, depressed law student walking on eggshells around his parents without even realizing it. I was Bree. I was gay as hell, I lived with people who actually gave a damn, and it seemed like pretty soon I was going to be a magical barista in a cafe run by trans witches. Oh, right, and I was also about to share some crab rangoon with a beautiful woman, so that was pretty great too. And that's the end. This was a story that I wrote quite a while ago, and I was very proud of it, and I am very proud of it. I had plans to continue it at one point, that I might go back to at some point. I had an idea for a prequel story of Abigail finding the spell book that teaches her how to do coffee magic, and her eventual transition because of that. I have a waiter time. I have a story that follows Kenzie, the trans girl that we saw Abigail getting that coffee for at the start. And then I also had an eventual idea for a story focusing on Jay, actually. Because this is, I guess, a tiny bit of a spoiler. But the reason and this is something I had in mind from the start. The reason that Jay was willing to accept the whole magical transition thing super easily is actually because he's also using magic to transition, just different magic. It was gonna be a whole setting where magic is performed through potions, and those potions can take all sorts of different forms. And Jay has some messy stuff with his family, which is why he hasn't just gone and fully committed to just permanently transforming himself yet, actually. He doesn't want to do a reality overwrite. That's a choice of his. But he doesn't feel ready to come out to his family. And so what he has been doing is actually the vape that he was hitting when he was first introduced. He made his own custom magic vape juice. Yeah. And so as long as he hits that vape a couple times a day, he stays looking like he does. But when he interacts with his family, he just goes without the vape for a bit, and he turns back because he's scared to come out right now. And he works as a bartender at this point in the story. He works. The magic vape is not good for him. No, it is not something he should be doing. But it's going to be a whole interconnected thing. Jay currently works as a bartender at a explicitly magical bar, where people can get cocktails that let them try out all sorts of things for just like a night. And that's actually one of the things that was going to happen with Kenzie's story when I eventually wrote that, is she's not sure. And while Abigail is helping Kenzie come to terms with her gender identity and helping her figure herself out, the two of them go to a bar together. And Kenzie gets to trans her gender for just a night, and that's what cracks her egg. She realizes she doesn't want to go back. Yeah, no, it was a whole thing. It's just a huge commitment. And I had other story ideas that I wanted to tackle first. And I still do. I have to finish my Umafic. And it's gonna take a while because I'm not writing as much as I used to because I'm very busy with other creative pursuits like this lately. But I will probably go back to it eventually because I think it's really fun. And I want to tell those stories. I like writing. I like telling stories. That's kind of why I really enjoy doing this whole ASMR thing, you know? Because I get to play pretend and play characters and tell stories for you all. Right? Like I talk about writing scripts, but most of my pre-recorded ASMR is improv based off of a rough outline, right? It's slightly more structured than the streams, but not by much. I'm just spitballing and coming up with a story on the spot, and it's fun. I love doing it. I really do. Now, my friends, we're closing in on the end of stream. I did say that reading the story would take basically the whole thing, but I did mention that I kind of want to do my nails today. So I'm thinking I take out all of my nail supplies, and for the last like 15-ish minutes, we hang out for a little bit while I decide what I want to do, okay? There's so much nail polish. Let's see. So many different colors to choose from. Actually, I have one of the fancy UV lights that they have at like nail salons for like gel nail polish. Okay. So. I have a couple of my like standard options, okay? One of the things that I do pretty frequently are pride flag nails, okay? And so I have the stuff for trans pride nails. Just gonna clack some of these bottles together. And I also have the stuff on hand to do the sunset lesbian pride flag. So those are options. I also have a really cute, just like soft lavender color that I could choose from. There's this nice teal or like gold. What do we think, my friends? You get to decide what I'm doing with my nails. I've decided this. What are we thinking? Should I do a pride flag or should I mix it up? Go sunset lesbian? Okay. Okay. We're gonna be a little gay. Do not inflict that post upon me. I don't want to hear about do you love the color of the sky. Alright. You think you're real funny, huh? You think the camera view would be so satisfying? That's fair. It's just I don't want to do a face reveal quite yet. Also, I'm in my pajamas. I'm wearing my jammies. Maybe hold on a moment. I might be able to figure something out. Who's the Uma fic about? An OC Uma. Oh hell. Whoa. It is about Hirano Diamor, who is a real horse that has not been made into an Uma yet. Let's see. Yeah, it would be asking a bit much to try and make hand cam work on the spot, unfortunately. I tried. I'm sorry, I tried. No hand cam. Maybe I'll experiment and figure out how that would be done in the future. In the meantime, I'm gonna shake up the nail polish. You do got Cozy Faye. Hello, it's me, the Cozy Faye. It's been a while since I've done my nails, you know? Because I worked in food service for quite a while, and I didn't like wearing gloves at work. So I'd only do it every now and then, and I'd usually get it professionally done. Advice for doing your nails. There's not really a lot that I can give. Don't overdo it. That's the first thing I would say. Be very patient. I usually do like a stripe down the middle, and then I fill in the sides. Okay? And you just gotta be very patient with it. And don't touch your nail. Don't touch it. You've never done your nails beyond your sister doing it? It's... I was also my older sister's canvas, fun fact, growing up. She loved doing makeup on me. She made me look like an elf once. She had an elf look she wanted to do. And it made me very happy, to be honest. But of course, I was a boy. Definitely a boy. And so I had to pretend that I was a little bit disgruntled about it, actually. What type of elf? Kind of a wood elfy type of deal. She did like green eyeshadow and that sort of thing. I don't do my makeup super often. I don't really enjoy doing makeup that much. I mean, Okay, I sort of do, but I don't like removing makeup. I hate removing makeup, and if you wear makeup, you have to remove it before you go to bed. Or you can like seriously break out because it's bad for your skin to just leave it on overnight. So I don't do makeup super often, and I don't do super complicated looks in general. But my sister, my older sister, is crazy talented when it comes to doing makeup stuff. She uh she studied cosmetology for a little bit, and so when I want to do complicated makeup to this day, I'll still usually just hit her up. I'll just be like, "Hey, do you wanna come do my makeup for this occasion that I'm going to?" And she's usually down. Like for Halloween a couple years ago at my old job, I wanted to be a vampire at work. And so I wore this like black dress and this whole thing, right? Time to shake up some more nail polish in front of the mic. And she did some really, really good vampire makeup for me. Lots of like deep reds and like red eyeshadow. Oh, it's so good. That's so good. She's so talented. She the little clicky sound is the sound of me shaking the nail polish bottle, actually. Well, you can always pop over and give it a watch later. I have escaped the cozy zone. I'm free. I'll never be cozy again. They do be clicky. That is true. But she's someone who like every day does a really complicated and really fancy makeup look. And she specifically does it after she gets back from work, right? She goes to work, goes through her day, and then she gets home, and that's when she does her makeup. And it's just because she likes doing it and she feels good about herself that way. And I respect that so much. So I'm cozy again. And I genuinely respect that so much. But for me, it's too much effort. Way too much effort. I do not enjoy removing makeup at all. I really, really don't. And so I don't do it. But nail polish is fun. And the reason nail polish is fun is because you do it, and then you have it, and it's done. And it'll stay that way for, a long time. It's much better. It's much preferable to me. Plus, if you go to a nice salon, they might like give you a hand massage or something. And that's like heaven, frankly. Okay. That's what I heard. What is it? Episode 9 coming out soon? Oh, that's gonna be the last one. Question mark? I've never been a TADC person myself, but my partner is a fan, so I'm aware of this news by proxy. Would I like a cool Uma fanfic to read? I would. I will not be reading other people's fics on stream because I want people to go do that. You know, go watch. Go read the actual fics that other people made instead of coming to me for them. Does Stumbling stream in the morning tomorrow? No. This week is different. So they streamed on Thursday this week and will not be streaming on Saturday. And that would be because they're doing work from home this week. It's alright, Dino Bird Girl. You don't gotta be there for every stream. That's okay. We're having a nice, relaxed day. Yeah, because they're doing a work from home thing this week, their schedule's a little bit different from normal. Okay. Next week we'll be doing more of the same. We'll be doing Dark Souls on Monday, Celeste on Wednesday, and ASMR on Friday. We'll probably be doing some slightly more proper ASMR next Friday instead of not ASMR at all, just reading you a story. This was one of the least ASMR streams. It was a good story, but it was also, in a way, false advertising. I'm very, very glad that you all enjoyed it. It was an absolute delight to share. It's the first story that I ever finished, right? Because I started writing Scale of Sapphire prior to starting The Secret Menu. But The Secret Menu was the first one that I finished because it was a much shorter story than Scale of Sapphire. I actually wrote several short stories over the course of writing Scale. And that's kind of how I got through writing it, honestly, because it's a lot, right? It was a huge commitment, and there was a point where, like, mentally I still had creative energy, but I did not want to spend it on Scale of Sapphire because I was so exhausted and drained from writing that story. And so what I did was I wrote other short stories in the middle of it, just to keep the creative juices flowing and keep myself feeling fresh. There we go. Now I have to be super careful with my hands for the next amount of time. So I'm going to just put away some stuff. This was very quick and dirty nails, honestly, but like it's gonna be cute. It is cute already, I can tell. Sometimes you gotta be quick and dirty with it. I have not trapped myself. I simply must act with care. How I'm going to close this box, I'm not sure. But that's fine. That's fine. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for becoming a fairy. Hello, hello. Thank you for subscribe. Oh god, trying to get this closed without being able to use my fingers properly is admittedly difficult. There we go. There we go. That's nonsense. It's okay. This is the frustrating thing to me about Gen AI these days, right? I, as an individual, am not actually that opposed to generative AI existing as a concept. However, what I do have an issue is the way that it exists currently. I don't like that it's flooding the world with misinformation. I don't like that it's taking low effort slop and flooding the places that people look for art, you know? Like while I was writing Scale of Sapphire, I started seeing AI stories start popping up on ScribbleHub more and more and more and more. And these stories were starting to get a lot of attention and move up in the ranking system on ScribbleHub. And I saw a lot of them, and they weren't like passing me in readership at that point. I was a pretty popular writer at the time on the platform. But I saw this and I was thinking, like, wow, there are genuinely really good stories that are getting pushed off the front page by these AI generated ones, because these AI generated ones are releasing like multiple 5,000 word chapters every week. And a human writer can't keep up with that. You can't keep that pace while providing quality. And so just from sheer quantity, they push the real writers off the front page. And so these people who have poured time and effort and themselves into the stuff they've made get sidelined. Same thing with like AI image generation. I want to support real artists. I want people who put the time into creating something they're proud of to be seen, you know? And so I see AI art, and I'm doing air quotes on that. And I think to myself, like, okay, AI image generation is not something I'm fundamentally opposed to existing. However, when corporations try to use it to replace artists, that's messed up. And when it takes away from people who are genuinely creating, it really pisses me off. It's like people pay for a service, right? And in this case, we have people who are paying these AI corporations to make images for them. And it's like, you could have spent that money that you used to get this image to pay an artist to make the same image, but better. Right? You could have paid an artist, and it might not have been instant, sure, but like, it would have been better. And I definitely think that in the world we live in, where you need money to live, it taking away from artist commissions is a problem, right? If we were in a post-capitalist world, I wouldn't give two shits. But we don't. We don't. And so it's a problem in my eyes. It's frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? If we didn't have the constant artificial scarcity that has been manufactured by capitalism, I wouldn't be opposed to generative AI existing in any form, to be frank. Because then it wouldn't be causing actual potential harm to people's lives, right? But that's not the world we live in. And it probably won't be for a very long time. So, because of that, it make me angry. It make me angry. I don't like it. I'm very excited to see, you know, things starting to slowly crash. I hope they crash faster. I feel like, you know, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, we have this thing these days. Hi, I don't know if y'all were aware, but I am in fact Gen Z. I feel like Gen Z and Gen Alpha are fairly unique in that a lot of us are actively hoping for the economy to crash. Like I think the only way I could afford a house ever is if the housing market crashes. So I want that to happen. It's something. It's something. I need the collapse of capitalism. I need this economic system to fall apart completely, but in the meantime, just a crash of the current economy will do. Like this I'm angry and political. Rar. I'm also hungry. It's 4 p.m. and I want to have a food. And it's about time that stream would normally end anyways. So, let's go ahead and raid out, shall we, my friends? Shall we go ahead? What the hell am I looking at? I don't think I want to go to that particular ASMR stream. I think I'm good on that one. Let's see. Whoa, whoa, RT Game playing Slay the Spire? RT Game playing Slay the Spire? I don't know if I feel brave enough to raid out to RT Game. I don't know if I feel brave enough to raid out to Daniel. I would have to be very brave to do that. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, okay. We're raiding out to RT Gamer. We're doing it. We're visiting Rumble Tumble. From ASMR to Rumble Tumble. That's fine. It was an unconventional stream to begin with. Let's go. Let's go. Let's just all go. Let's go watch some Slay the Spire. Let's go watch some Slay the Spire, everyone. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.